mode.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Ron Wheeler here. I want to welcome you all to our presentation this early evening. Before I get started, I opened up the room just a few minutes early because I always like to make sure all the technology is working. And that way, if there's any mistakes, I can fix them. Do me a favor, if you guys can hear my voice and see my screen, it should say on air. If you can see that, actually, you can't see it yet. Now you should be able to see it, pardon me. Now you should be able to see where it says on air. See, that was one of the errors I picked up on. I forgot to unpause the screen. So now if you can see on air, let me know. And you can hear my voice, which is even more important. That way I know that everything is working a-okay. So, all right, let's see here. I'm getting all my stuff ready to go. And all right, looks good. All right, thank you, Carl and Mark and Tom. And you guys are a little quiet so far. Just let me know if you guys can hear my voice and see my screen. That way I know that things are operating awesomely. That would be great. All right, good deal. Now I'm starting to get some positive feedback. And it seems that everything is working okay. And that is just the way I like it. So, just again, Michael as well. So, just again to let you guys know, I started the room just a couple minutes early. We're going to start the formal presentation in about 2 minutes. Usually, the presentation takes about an hour, hour and 10 minutes or so. Then we have a Q&A session at the end. So, just keep that in mind as we go through tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away in that question and chat box, and I will be more than happy to hold those for the end. Or I've got my colleague John here, and Brian's gonna be along shortly. They will answer questions in the background as well as we go through the presentation. So lots of help if you need it as we go through. And like I said, we'll get started here in just about a minute or so, and we will be on our way. But it looks like all of our technology is working flawlessly, which I always like to see. All right. I'll be back in just about a minute and we'll get started officially. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's just for those of you on YouTube. Little sound check there for you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick this bad boy off. Welcome all. Again, it's 5 o'clock Eastern time. So welcome to our webinar tonight. It's called How to Generate 3% per month with one option trade per week. And this class is going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to be showing you really the system that I've designed. And I'll be honest with you, I designed it for myself to transition from being a day trader to being a more passive options trader. So I'm going to show you what I did, how I did it, and give you a little taste of what can be done with this. And I've seen this change the lives of so many people. So, like I said, a lot to be excited about. In this webinar, I'm going to show you how you can begin making a paycheck averaging 3% per more or month. Now, that figure is based on the fact that our portfolio and most of our clients are generating on average 3% per month, and they're using our most basic income strategies. Now, keep in mind, this is something you can do regardless of market direction. You can do it with little to no prior experience trading or options trading. It's safer than simply going out there and buying, or if you can, short selling stocks. It's something that you can implement quickly. Now, the information we're going to share with you can allow you to have a worry-free retirement. And I know that that might sound too good to be true. So you might be thinking, is that legit? And you want some proof. Now, I would too if I were you. I see Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and they're promising all these massive returns. These kids are out there with crypto and buy this and buy that and crypto boy this. And listen, I've been doing this a long time. I let the results of our systems prove themselves to you with realism, and this is what it's actually like to be a trader. So, just giving you a quick example. This is our most simplistic strategy. Okay. A $5,000 account would have gained over $17,000 in a period of 6.5 years, average of about 4.4% per month. Now, keep in mind that it doesn't always just go lower left to upper right with no drawdown or no sideways. That's not how real trading works. You're going to have periods where you lose a little bit, but the periods of gaining far surpass it in a good winning system. Now, this is a $5,000 account. The nice thing is it can scale. What if you have a $50,000 account or a $100,000 account? Just simply do the math. $5,000 account or a $50,000 account, $170,000 in 6.5 years. Okay, it's real, it works, and it's something that we do on a weekly basis. Now, some of my clients were kind enough to share their photo and their results with you, and we'll talk about a few of them today. These are real people just like you. So as I teach you the system today and share their stories, I want you to pay attention because you might find that you're in a similar position now as they were when they started. I mentioned earlier, my name is Ron Wheeler, and I'm the options trading manager here at VectorVest. I've been trading now for 26 years, I think it is. I started in 1997, so almost 27 years. When I first started, like a lot of people, I did not have good success. And the reason why I didn't have good success is because, well, trading is hard. If you bought something, it has to go up. If you sell something, it has to go down. If you get that wrong, you're not going to make money. Then, once you start getting that right, if you don't manage the trades properly, you're still not going to make any money. You buy something, you make $100. You buy something and lose 1,000. It's just not a good, easy plan of success. So it took me a couple of years to become successful and become a good trader. Now, I was lucky. I was under the tutelage of some of the best traders in the country. I worked in IT for a software company that sold software for market analysis and algorithms. So I had a lot of good tutors at my side. Now, I started in IT. I kind of transitioned over to the trading side of it, and I started teaching people technical analysis once I started becoming a decent trader. Well, one of our clients actually came and visited our office probably about 5 or 6 years into my career, and he was an options guy. I was never really big into options because, it's hard enough to buy something and then have it go up and make money, but options to me were like, I can buy an option, the market goes up, but I still don't make any money. So it was like, ugh. Well, he came to me and he talked to us about how he traded options. And he ended up being a hedge fund manager out of the Midwest. He said, Ron, you're doing it wrong. Do it in the way that we do it on the commercial side. Be a seller. Because when you become a seller, you can create trading opportunities where you can make money even if you're wrong. And the risk management is known up front. So no more make 1,000, lose 3,000. All that is known up front. Think of the stress that takes off you, right? You can be wrong and still make money. Your risk management is known before the trade is placed. That's the beauty of becoming an option seller. Now, I stored that in my memory bank, started dabbling with options, and after about 10, 12 years of day trading, I kind of got tired of it. So I wanted to start transitioning to something that was a little bit more off the screen per se. So I started kind of adding more and more options trading. And now I'm 99% options trading. And I've been doing options like I'm going to show you today for probably about 12 years or so, solely doing these options trades. So I'm going to take you kind of on the path that I took. So in today's journey, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to generate these types of returns. I'm going to show you case studies and examples of our clients who are doing this. I'm going to show you our system so that if you learn and follow the strategies, you can do the same. I'm going to prove to you that our options paycheck system will get better returns safely. It's safer than trading stocks or options alone. And I ask you to stay with me till the end. I put together a nice little checklist to help you plan out your trades. It's a PDF. I'll drop it right in the handout section of GoToWebinar. You can click on it, print it out today. But just do me a favor. Remind me when we get to the end because I a lot of times forget about it after speaking for an hour. Now, why is the concept of income so important? Well, if you don't have an income system, it's on you. And that creates a number of problems for us. If you're not retired, it keeps us stuck in a situation where we have to work in order to live. Whether you got a lot of money or no money at all, concerns about finance are one of the leading causes of stress. Worrying about whether we'll have enough or if we're going to run out of money, that can have a huge impact on our life, our health, and even our relationships. If you're already retired, you might be watching your savings get depleted faster than you can fill it, especially with the way prices have risen so much in the last 3-4 years. If things don't improve, you may fear you'll continue to have losses that draw down your account. You're going to get behind on your goals, maybe even question your ability as an investor. You might even fear you'll have to give up on investing and go back to work. Worst case scenario, you'll run out of money during retirement. Now, with a system to help you generate income, things are a lot different. And I think this is probably one of the most important points of the webinar. So pay attention, write down what I'm about to say. In order to be financially free, our main need is income. To be financially free, you need to learn how to generate income from your investments, enough to cover your expenses and lifestyle needs. So let me say this again. In order to become financially free, you need to learn to generate enough income from your investments that covers your expenses and lifestyle needs. Now, whether you're still working or retired, that ability to generate income from your investments is one of the most empowering skill sets you can have. Because when you have the ability to generate income from your investments, your life changes. If you're still working, you can increase your earning capacity. It's like having a second job. If you're retired, you can have a consistent source of income as if you quit your job, but they kept paying you. It's like a tap you can turn on whenever you want. That's going to allow you to do the things you want to do now and when you retire. When you got a system to help you generate income, it can help you retire younger. Now, as I said, I think this is one of the most important points of the presentation, so I'll say it again. When the income from our investments exceeds our living expenses, we become financially free or have the ability to retire. For example, Brian's a client of ours who's a great example of how easy you could become proficient at drawing an income from the market, even if you don't want to invest a lot to begin with. Now, Brian had some health problems and needed a way to supplement his income. By using the options paycheck system, he was able to generate $23,000 in profit, starting with just $6,000. He achieved a 100% winning trade rate in 10 months. He had 31 of 31 winning trades using our most basic system. Now, the key point here is this is not beginner's luck. It's the result of following the system. It's the system that helped Brian get that 100% winning trades and create that $23,000 in profit, starting with just $6,000 in 10 months. And he did it safely. Now, the first thing you need to know to take control of your returns is a bit of a strategic mindset shift. You're either going to continue being the gambler where you lose more than you win, or you're going to become an option seller and win more than you lose. Being an option seller is the way you can make consistent income each month, and it allows you to win even when you're wrong. Now, the reason you want to be the casino or the house is that number one, the house always wins. Number two, the house always wins because it controls and stacks probability in its favor. The options paycheck system is built around you stacking the odds massively in your favor. So make a note of this. In order to control your returns and results, you need to know how to stack probability in your favor. And the obvious question is, how do we do it? Well, the first step is that shift from being the buyer of options to being the seller. So let me explain. Bruce is a great example of shifting from gambling on stocks to being the casino and controlling and stacking probability in his favor. He said prior to working with us, he had mainly taken stock tips from brokers. Bruce focused on our SPX income system. It's our most basic trading system, as he's not the most technical person in the world. But in the time he's been working with us, he's grown his trading account from $100 to $497,000 in 3.5 years. He said he's achieving a 74% win percentage simply by following the rules of the options paycheck system. And the whole system takes him around 15 minutes a day. So let me show you how this works. Here's an example of a typical trade you've been taught to make. You find a stock you like, you think it'll go up, so you either buy shares of it or you buy a call. Now, why do you buy a call option? Because when you started learning options, it's what you were always taught to do if you thought a market would go up. But what ends up happening a lot of times? Either the stock doesn't go up or it doesn't go up enough, and that call you bought ends up expiring worthless. Has that ever happened to you? Well, what's the problem causing you to lose? Most people feel the problem is they picked maybe the wrong stock, maybe the wrong strike price or the wrong expiration. But let's talk about the real problem. If you've been losing money or had more losers than winners with other systems, it's not your fault. It's because most of the systems on the planet teach you to be on the wrong side of the trade. You're taught to buy an option. But as a buyer, the probabilities are not on your side. And for most people, they end up buying and losing and buying and losing and buying and losing. Our options paycheck system teaches you a new way of thinking. You need to be a seller and not a buyer. That's how you get ahead of everyone else. This is how you put probability on your side. It's how you win even if you're wrong. So let's take a closer look at selling options. Now, as a buyer, a typical trade gives you a 50-50 chance to be a winner. Because when you buy, the only way you make money is if the stock moves in your direction. So instead of a buyer's mentality, we're going to have a seller's mentality. Instead of hoping a stock goes up, as a seller, you're going to strategically set up your trade using probability. Probability will tell you where the stock is not likely to go. So instead of needing the stock just to go in your direction, you can pick a price which basically says, as long as the stock doesn't go down to here, I can make money. Now think about that. You can pick a price down there where that arrow is, and as long as the stock stays above it, you can make money. So if the stock goes up, you make money. If the stock goes sideways, you make money. If the stock goes down a little bit, you can still make money. So right from the very beginning, probability is in your favor. Now, you could even increase that probability even more. You can choose a lower price, which gives you a bigger area where you can be right. Now, we are able to do a lot of our trades starting off with about a 70% chance of success. And the only way you can do this is as an option seller. As a seller, you're putting the probability of success in your favor, and that's the definition of an income trade. So when I talk about income, I'm not talking about just trading and making money. I'm talking about an income trade where you can make money even if you're wrong on direction. Now, if you remember Bruce, he still trades with me every week. In fact, he recently posted in our private Facebook group and said, another day of trading on the beach. Got my eyes on AMC and a cold beer. Life's good. Thank you, VectorVest and Ron, for giving us the tools to do what we can do from anywhere. That's a great picture of being financially free. Now, Mike was someone who dabbled with options but said he lost on each trade. Have you ever been there? Can you imagine how frustrating that must be to lose on each trade? Eventually, he gave up. He tried to learn more about options, but said he never felt comfortable he knew what he was doing. He had all kinds of options knowledge, but no way to use it properly, no set criteria. So we worked together. I taught him the options paycheck system of being an option seller, and he said he became an income machine. After he learned the system, he went out and had 17 out of 19 winning trades with a profit of over 12K in 4 months. The key lesson here is going from buyer or gambler to seller or the casino turned his situation around. And he was even proud of his success. He sent me the spreadsheet of his trades. So here's his results. I want you to notice the number of profits or winners versus the number of losers. That's great, typical. Now also notice the length of the trades, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11. He's pulling in about $1,000 every 7 to 11 days. Now remember, this is not day trading. I wanted to get away from that. So these trades typically take about 7 to 10 days to reach profits. Now, if you're like Mike and most of our students, you can begin trading the SPX, which is the index that tracks the S&P 500. And that only involves one trade per week and has averaged about 4.5% per month since 2016. The odds are stacked in your favor on these trades. You're not looking for one big home run trade to become a millionaire overnight. You're growing your account steadily each year. And that's the key takeaway. Home runs look good, but singles win the games. These singles are what will enable you to never run out of money and to be able to do all the things that you want to do. Now, you've seen by flipping from the buyer to the seller, you can stack the odds significantly in favor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stack the odds even further by understanding and capitalizing on the 3 most common buyers or gamblers' mistakes. That's really kind of a focus of what I do and what I'm going to show you as an option seller. We are going to what I call stack probability. Everything that we do, every mistake that a buyer does, we're going to take advantage of that to put more and more probability on our side. This is the first mistake they make. Bear with me a second, had a little glitch there on the slide. This is the first mistake. They buy option strikes that are very unrealistic. They choose strikes that are so far away, the stock has no chance of hitting it. Let me explain. Here's a stock. Let's say you're bullish on the stock, right? A mistake a lot of option buyers make is they buy calls with strike prices way above the current stock price. So the stock's at like 215 and they buy an option at 230. They're not going to really make any significant profits unless the stock goes up $15 a share. You're putting yourself way behind. Now, why would somebody do that? They do it because the options are cheap. Well, Ron, it's only 50 bucks. Worst case scenario, I lose 50 bucks. That's the lottery mentality. Most of the time, you're going to lose. It's as simple as that. Now, since there's always going to be those buyers out there who buy those options, we are going to be the one who sells it to them. Because when we sell them that option, we have a high probability of winning. It's as simple as that. Now, the same goes for puts. There's people who buy puts way down here. They think the stock's going to drop down. Stock's at 216. They buy a $200 put. The stock's going to have to move down $17 plus a share before they see any profits. But it's a cheap option, Ron. I only have to spend 50 bucks. Again, it's the lottery mentality. Since there's always going to be buyers out there who buy them, we are going to be the one who sells it to them because that's going to give us a 60 to 90% probability of success right off the bat. Now, the second mistake that buyers make is they choose expiration dates that are just too close to the current date. It's like when you go to a grocery store, you see a piece of steak on the discount rack. It's cheap, but it will be worthless very soon. The same is true for options. Here you see what happens to the price of an option in relation to the number of days until expiration. Notice, over 180 days, it took 135 days to lose half of the option's value. And in that last 45 days, the price really dropped off. Now, a lot of buyers will buy those options with less than 45 days to expiration because they're cheaper. Again, it's that lottery mentality. When you do that, you're stacking the probability against you. So instead of buying options in that window, we are going to sell options in that window. Now, to be more specific, our paycheck system uses an expiration that's 21 to 45 days away. That's really the sweet spot for where we sell options. So here's an example. This is a graph of Home Depot. You think it's going to go up, right? So what do? You go out there and buy an option that is 35 days away. Well, that expiration is just too close. Notice how the value of the option just drops off because it's getting close to expiration. This is bad for the option buyer, but you're going to be the option seller. You're going to let time decay work in your favor. Now remember, there's always people out there buying those options that have expiration dates too close. You may as well be the one who sells it to them. Let them be the gambler. You be the casino. You are always going to win in the end. Now, the third mistake that buyers make is they simply pay too much. They buy what's called an overpriced option. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's two stocks. I want you to look at the top, and I want you to notice both stocks are around the same price. They're both about $76. But even though the two stocks have the same price, the options are very different. One's 910, the other's 180. Why are they so different? Because that option on the left had very high volatility, and that leads to the option being overpriced. Buyers who buy these options are paying too much. Well, what's the big deal? Watch what happens when a buyer buys an option that is overpriced like the one on the left. Both stocks go up $8 a share from $76 to $84. You'd have bought those stocks, you'd have been profitable. Very simple. But let's see what happens to the value of the options. Even though both stocks rose, the overpriced option on the left actually lost money. Think about that. The option buyer got direction right and still lost. Why? Because they simply paid too much. They didn't pay attention to volatility. They paid too much. What we're going to do, instead of buying these overpriced options, you're going to be the seller. I want you to think about that for a moment. As an option seller, you can be wrong on direction. And when you see these vastly overpriced options, we can add more probability to our trades, and we can actually decrease the monetary risk. we can make these even less risky. Again, we're stacking probability on our side even more. Now, Bob has one of the most interesting stories I've seen. He said prior to working with us, he was making a bunch of the mistakes we talk about here, and it cost him dearly. In fact, he ended up either broke or bankrupt 3 times. In his own words, came close to living under a bridge. The paycheck system helped Bob turn his situation around in as little as 4 months. He learned to turn these mistake liabilities into strategies to control and stack probability in his favor. He said in 4 months, he grew his account by 71% and achieved a 79.1% winning trade percentage. Remember, if you want to control returns, results, you got to learn to control and stack probability in your favor. Now, let me ask you a question. Type in the chat window for me. Have any of you ever made these buyer's mistakes? Type a yes or no in the chat box. I'll give you about 15 seconds. Type a yes or a no. And by the way, I see never traded options before. That's great, by the way. I like working with people that have never traded options specifically because you don't have any bad habits. I can teach you right off the start not to do these mistakes. So it's always a good thing. And I see lots of yes, 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 yes. We've all made these mistakes. If you remember my story early on, this is why I didn't like to trade options. Okay? There was just weird things like this. And listen, we've all made these mistakes. It's not your fault. We were just taught a broken system, or we just weren't taught how to use options correctly from the begin with. Now, hopefully at this point, the idea of being an option seller is intriguing. It's interesting, right? But when a lot of people hear the word options, and especially the term selling options, they think it's risky. The options paycheck system uses a low-risk strategy for selling options. This is why it's a core strategy we teach our retirees. Now, why is reducing risk so important? Well, most people who don't use the options paycheck system, they're not preserving their capital. They have one bad trade wipe out the gains from a bunch of winners. Well, let me tell you, in 12 plus years, 15 plus years actually, in 12 years of actually doing this for 99% of what I do, I've never had this happen. Again, I want you to think back of my story and how I converted to becoming an options trader. Remember what that guy told me? You control risk before you open the trade. I would never take a trade where this could happen. It's as simple as that. I would not take a trade where this is possible. That's how you don't have this happen to you. You're taught a broken system if this is happening to you. And if that happens to you, it makes it very hard to recover your losses. Okay? You don't want to suffer those large losses. So you have to have a built-in protection plan. And that built-in protection plan is going to help you take care of risk management before you even open the trade. Because when you take care of risk management, that's going to help you preserve and grow your capital. From choosing the right stocks to placing the right options trades, you're going to preserve and grow your capital. Now, like I said earlier, home runs look good, but that's where that one bad trade wipes out a bunch of winners comes from. Singles are what win the games. Now, one of my most common questions we get asked is, can I trade options from my IRA? Well, the answer is yes, I do it as well. A client of ours, John, grew his IRA over 112% in 1 year using our paycheck system. He said he had tried and struggled trading for some time before working with us. He learned to follow the system and turned his inconsistent results into predictable monthly income. In 12 months, he enjoyed 85% winning trades and more than doubled the size of his IRA while spending no more than 15 minutes per day on his trading. So the paycheck system makes sure you reduce your risk before you even open the trade. First, we choose stocks that are low risk. We have a very specific criteria, but in general, if we're bullish, we start by focusing on good stocks that are already rising in price, similar to what you see here. Then, instead of selling naked, we're going to sell with protection. So let me show you how to do this. Traditional option selling systems leave you with all this risk down here. The options paycheck system shrinks your risk to this. Let's look at how this works. This is a graph of a typical stock we'd be bullish on. It's a beautiful graph, and it's understandably bullish on a stock that looks like this. Traditionally, people would buy the stock here. They may even buy a call and use it as the strike price. But remember, you're not the buyer anymore. You're the seller. you're going to do this. When you are bullish and you think a stock will go up, you are going to sell a put with a strike price below the current stock price. When you do that, you're going to get paid. You receive a premium. In this example, you're going to get paid $200 per option contract. 10 contracts would be $2,000, and that's great, right? However, you have no downside protection in case the stock drops massively. So what we're going to do is we are going to use a built-in protection plan. You're going to buy a put down here as insurance. Now, buying this put has reduced your risk down to only this much. Now, that protection plan costs us something. To buy that protection plan, you need to use some, but not all of the money you receive from selling the put. So in this example, the insurance cost me $100. Now, that's okay because you received $200 from selling the put. That leaves you with a net credit of $100 per contract. That means that you got paid $100 to place this trade. No money out of pocket. Now, if you did this on 10 contracts, you received a credit of about $1,000. And again, you got paid to place this high probability trade. Now, think about what this has done. If the stock goes up, you make money. If the stock goes sideways, you make money. Now, I want you to understand when we place this trade, this is like a trade like anything else you do. If you went out there and bought 1,000 shares of the stock, the next day the stock goes up, right? You make money. The next day the stock goes down, you lose money. An option trade like I'm showing you is the same concept. We place this trade as the stock goes up or the stock goes down or the stock goes sideways, the price of that options trade will increase or decrease. This is how you make your money. Now, we are selling a trade. So when we enter the trade, we get paid. When we exit the trade, we are giving money back to the broker. So in a perfect world, here's what happens. You sold the trade for, let's say, $1,000. As the stock goes up, that trade that you sold for $1,000 is now only worth $500. You're going to go to your broker, pay your broker $500, and you will be out of that trade. You pocket the difference. If the stock goes sideways, it's the same idea. Now, as long as the stock stays above that 135 price, you will still make money. If it doesn't, just like any other trade, if you went out and bought 1,000 shares of whatever stock, I would hope that you would use some sort of a stop, some sort of protection so the stock doesn't go down too low and you lose a bunch of money. Options trades are the same. That option that we sell, we are going to use that price as our stop. So if this stock drops down below 135, we are going to exit the trade and take a small proportional loss. Okay? We're exiting the trades, either for profits or a loss, just like you would do with any other trade. Very similar. Now, here's what I want to do with you. I want to set up a couple of trades with you. These are stock trades I actually did in the last 3-4 months with my clients, and I want to just show you how they work. Now, a couple things in mind here. When the market is bullish, we are going to place bullish income trades. Now, I'm going to flash you a quick tip. You already know that we sell options that are 21 to 45 days away. The next tip I'm going to give you is we are going to sell an option that has at least a 60% chance of winning. So let me show you an example. This is PHM, Pulte Homes. Stock is going up. The overall market at the time was going up this year. At that point, we were very bullish on that stock. And how could you not be? Look at this thing, right? This is beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm thinking of that whole movie, Coming to America. That's beautiful. What is that, Velvet? I love that movie, by the way. It's that 80s movie with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. Fantastic movie. I love a good comedy. What can I say? But it's a beautiful stock. It's moving up. It's great. It's awesome. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sell some options 21 to 45 days away. Now, this is the cool part about being an option trader. When I open up the option chain, whether it's in my broker, whether it's in my Options Pro software, it doesn't matter. Every option has a probability associated to it. Now, this stock is $76.05. If I look at a $75 put, that put says it has a 56% probability of staying above that price. So over the next 21 to 45 days, if I sell a $75 option, I have a 56% chance of making money. If I go down to 73, it has a 73% chance of staying above that. I have a 73% chance of winning. I have a 27% chance of losing. Sorry, I had to do quick math in my head. Not good at that. If I go down to 70, I have a 91% chance of winning. Now remember, what that means is this. I have a stock that's at 76 bucks. If I go down there and sell a $70 option, my trade has a 91% chance of success. All I got to do to win is stay above 70 bucks for the next 21 to 45 days. Really only for about the next 7 to 10 days. But 21 to 45 is where I sell. Now let me ask you a question. Be honest. Which one would you pick? If I came to you and said, I can give you a trade with a 56% chance of winning, a 73 or a 91%, what would you do? What would you choose? Not knowing anything else, knowing nothing about risk, nothing about the proper way to trade this, what would you choose? Well, yeah, you would choose the 91% option, right? That's just logical. I'd choose the same one, in fact. But here's the problem. That 91%, yes, I can make money 9 out of 10 times. But when I win, I make 100 bucks. If I lose, I might lose 1,500. So what good is winning 9 trades and making 900 bucks when that one trade is going to come in there and wipe out all of your gains? Probability is a beautiful thing, but like anything else, it can be misused and abused. So 56% is not bad, right? You have a 56% chance of winning. You have a 44% chance of losing. The problem with that is it's just not enough. What we want to choose is typically somewhere in that 60 to 70% range. So when I do these trades, I try to sell an option that expires in 21 to 45 days with a 60 to 70% probability. So the answer is B. Now, this trade was done as something called a bull-put spread. Okay? I'm selling a $73 put, and at the same time, I am buying a $70 put. It's one trade and one transaction. Now, if the stock goes up, if the stock goes sideways, or as long as the stock stays above $73, I can make money. So I've got a lot of different ways that this trade can go. Now here's the beautiful part of this. It did go in my way. It went up and really only took, in this case, 3 days. Now listen, the average trade is 7 to 10 days, but sometimes they go a little bit faster. I was able to make $876 in 3 trading days very quickly. Okay? Now, as you know, the market this year has been bearish a lot more than it's been bullish. Okay, we're very bearish right now, even though the market was up like 55 points on the S&P. It's still a very bearish market overall. So when the overall market is bearish, we place bearish trades. Number one, we look for stocks that are going down as opposed to PHM that were going up. Now, Target happened to be in an extended downtrend. It broke below support. Let's zoom in a little closer. Now again, we win if Target stays below the strike price we pick prior to expiration. So which would you pick? We've got, if it stays below 135, now the stock's at 131. If it stays below 135, we have a 64% chance of winning. If it stays below 140, we have a 76% chance of winning. And if it stays below 145, we have an 85% chance of winning. Now, some of you might ask, well, where do these percentages come from? They come from the historical movement of the stock. So it looks at what the stock did in the past to give you an idea of where it should go in the future. It's completely math and statistics. That's the beauty of this. Nothing magical, nothing proprietary. It's just completely looking at where the stock had gone in the past. Now, which one would you pick? Now, I see a spattering. A lot of you are saying C. Okay? A lot of folks are saying C, right? That's not a bad choice. But in this particular instance, I actually chose B. Now, why did I choose B at 76%? Do you remember back to when I showed you those two stocks were the same price and one stock was really, really overpriced? This is the power of overpriced options. If you get an option that's really, really expensive, I can increase probability even more. So what I do as an option seller, I look for the highest probability that I can do as long as I'm controlling my risk. That's what I look for. So for somebody that's at 64%, you're actually right. I could have sold that one. But I sold the 76 because I was able to, because the options were so expensive at the time. Now, I'm thinking this stock is going to go down. This is called a bear call spread. So it's bearish because it's something you do when the market's bearish. It's a call because you're doing calls. So instead of selling puts, now I'm selling a 140 call and I'm buying a 145 as protection. Okay? Now remember, if the stock goes down, I win. If it goes sideways, I win. And as long as it stays below that 140, I will win. If it goes past 140, I will take a small proportional loss. Now, that stock, over 7 days, it didn't really go down very much, to be honest. I did the trade right here, and you can kind of see the stock kind of bounced around a little bit, and overall, it just went about right there. But in 7 trading days, I was able to pull in about $765 in profits. Now, just to give you guys an idea here, my average winning trade is right around 800 bucks. That's my average winning trade. As you can see, some of them are a little bit lower like this, some of them are a little bit higher like you saw with Pulte. My average losing trade is right around, I'm going to say about 900 bucks. Now, if you look at that, you might say, Ron, that's, I don't know about that, right? I'm losing more than I win. Yes, I am. But I'm also trading with a 70% probability. That's the difference. Okay? If I was trading a 50-50, this would be bad. But I'm not. I'm trading with probability. That's the beauty of doing this. I'm not making $800 on a winner and losing $4,000 on a loser. I would never take a trade that does that. This can all be established before you take the trade. Now, another client I worked with is Jim. Now, he said prior to working with me, he told me his results were very inconsistent. He felt unsatisfied. He was thinking that, there's something else out there that's got to be better. Have you ever felt that way? That there's something more out there? He said he wanted a way to supplement what he was doing and would provide more of a regular income with a higher probability of success. So after learning the system and becoming an option seller, he said he had 21 winners in a row and returned 76% in about 8 months. And his average trade only lasted 8 days. Can you imagine how that must feel to be going from inconsistent to where, you have 21 winners in a row? Now, that's Jim. What about you? What would an income system like this allow you to do? Listen, think about it. Okay, Ron, I don't have a lot of money to start with. Great, take 10 grand. Take 5 grand, it doesn't matter. Make 3% per month on 5 grand. You make an extra 150 bucks a month. Is that a ton of money? No, but you're slowly and steadily building up your profits. Like I showed you earlier, you start with 5,000 bucks. Over the next 6.5 years, you made 300 and some percent return. You got now 25 grand in your account. Okay? That's the beauty of this. Making money consistently. Let you retire earlier, I see. Pay off bills, pay off my mortgage sooner, retire sooner, retire sooner. These are the things that you can do with a good income system. Now, we said before that buying is gambling and selling is about controlling risk and putting the odds of success in your favor. That's how you generate income. The paycheck system makes sure you have a guaranteed maximum risk, and it all goes back to whether you want to be the gambler or the casino. Because keep in mind, the casino always wins in the end. Now, that option selling is the path to making consistent income each month. It allows you to do it safer with that high probability of success. Now let's put this together. I want to show you how you can have a bulletproof system that you can do in as little as 15 minutes a day. Now, my students who have implemented this told me this is one of the most important things they learned. Now, why is this important? Well, one of the biggest things people ask me is, well, how much time is it going to take me? And that's a great question. Well, here's the challenge. There's thousands of stocks out there. You got to know how to pick the right one, the right strategy, when do you get in, what the expiration date, what price, what if it goes against you, when do you get out, all that stuff. And sometimes it feels like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack because there's so much information out there, you don't know where to look. You spend hours researching your trades, or you're going from guru to guru looking for advice. Without a system, you're trading blindly. You're like a mouse running through a maze, bumping into wall after wall. You don't know where to go. It's stressful. It's disheartening. But with the right system, you can identify good stocks, get reliable income in as little as 15 minutes a day. But to get that, you need a system, and not just any system, a straight line system, a simple way to know when to place your trades, how to find them, how to set them up, and how to manage them. So let me walk you through the pieces of the options paycheck system in the order they go in. No one else teaches option selling this way. This is like the secret sauce. There's 6 pieces. The top 5 build on each other, and then that 6th kind of ties them all together. At the top of the system is market direction. A lot of traders ignore this. They just go out and start placing trades. You're going to be placing trades that are either bullish or bearish, and you have to have a way to know the market's direction. By doing this, you've narrowed your focus. So instead of looking at everything, you're looking at one of 2 possible scenarios. Now, our options paycheck system has a timing signal built in that we use to tell us the market's direction. Now, after you know the direction of the market, you're going to want to find stocks that are highly likely to move in the same direction. So just trading the stocks you know or listening to the gurus on TV, this is not your best choice. What you want to do is find good stocks already in uptrends when the market is rising, and you want to find bad stocks that are in downtrends when the market is falling. Now, our options paycheck system saves time in 2 ways. We look at 2 main categories, fundamentals and price trend. We have pre-built searches in VectorVest, which we use instead of digging through all the data the institutions throw at you. Now, once you have that list of stocks, you need a way to select the best ones for options trading. Earlier, we looked at how big of an effect volatility had on an options price. The options paycheck system focuses on selling options with volatility in the upper end of the range, but we don't stop there. To take even more risk out of the trade, we filter out those with upcoming earnings. Why? Because earnings is, who knows what earnings are? It can go up and go down, who knows, right? We make sure we're not in trades during earnings. We make sure our expiration is in that 21 to 45 day sweet spot. Now you can use tools from your broker to help you. We use a proprietary search tool which helps me find these in just a couple of seconds. Now it's time to set the trade up. Now, we want to pick the one that has the highest probability of success based on the individual strike price, just like I showed you for PHM and for Target, but we want to make sure that we have the right risk reward level. I don't want to take a trade that's got a 70% chance of success and it has a $1,000 gain and a $3,000 loss. I would like to take a trade that's got a 70% chance of success with a $1,000 gain and a $1,000 loss, however. So that risk reward is very, very critical to setting these things up properly. Now, before you place the trade, you got to know what to do if the trade goes for you or against you. I don't want you sitting in a trade and feeling frozen like a deer in the headlights because you don't know what to do. Our paycheck system has rules to take profits at a predetermined level. This can be set up in advance with your broker. And if a trade goes against you, we have a simple adjustment strategy that brings in more income to minimize losses. We also know when to exit a trade, and I can set that order up in advance with my broker. So it happens automatically, and it's very unemotional for me. Now, lastly, you want a way to do this quickly. You don't want to be spending all day on the process. So you need a tool that allows you to do these things. It should be something you're comfortable using. Some brokers have tools that are better than others. You might find some paid tools to be very effective. For example, I use our proprietary tool from VectorVest called Options Pro, and it saves me a ton of time. Now, speaking of time, you heard earlier about Mike and Jim, and they're getting their results in about 15 minutes a day, and so is Hugh. He actually told me one of his biggest struggles was finding a system that was efficient and worked. He said he didn't have that proper balance between trading and free time. He didn't have that proper work-life balance. Are you like that too? Do you spend too much time doing things you don't want to do and not enough time doing the things that you actually want to do? Now that Hugh learned the paycheck system of selling options, he said he has more confidence, more free time, and is able to have more fun. In his first 43 trades, he had 38 winners and returned over $26,000 in profits in his first 4 months. Now, I want you to do this. I want to do a little exercise here. So I want you to take your pen. I want you to put a little star next to the part of the system where you're really good at. So for example, if you have a quick way to find stocks that are likely to go in the direction of the market, put a little star there. That means you're probably good at market direction and stock finder. But if you've never taken an option trade before, then option trade, trade management, all that stuff is probably not good for you right now. Don't overthink this. Take about 10, 15 seconds, mark where you're good at and where you need to take a little bit of work. Give you about 15 seconds to fill that out. Now, I'm willing to bet maybe only 1 in 100 investors will ever know how to do this. So, share with me in the chat, what areas do you need to work on? Type in the chat there. Where do you need to work on your option system? Maybe you don't have a system, and that's fine. That's the first thing I see. I need to work on all of them, Ron. Nothing wrong with that. We're giving you the roadmap to how to create income. Trade management. I see trade management a few times. Okay? Trade management. Option selection. I see a lot of option selections. If you're not good at option selection, you probably need to work on the bottom part too. Okay? Here's the bottom line. To become successful, you got to have stars all the way down. Because once you do, you'll be able to generate income every month and do so in less than 15 minutes a day. So listen, I can't know your exact reason for coming to today's webinar, but I'm going to make a few guesses here. Maybe you haven't really known what to do and you feel like you've been trading blindly, bumping into one wall into the next. It's leaving you with inconsistent results. You make some money, but then give it all back on your next trade. Just like Jim did before he learned the paycheck system. Maybe you've been suffering through loss after loss, and those small losses are killing your portfolio. Maybe the money coming in isn't exceeding the money going out. Maybe you're just not where you want to be. Now, today I showed you the secret to fixing that, and it's again a secret that I bet only 1 in 100 investors will ever know, and now you're one of them. You saw it's possible to win even if you're wrong. How you can do it with very little risk, even less risk than buying and selling stocks. And you saw the system to get consistent income every month. Now, I showed you just a few of the many people who use the system so they never have to worry about retirement again. You saw over and over the secret to generating consistent income is that shift from being the gambler to the casino. Now, remember, you're going to be that one investor out of 100 who knows the secret. That means there are 99 other investors who will continue to do things wrong. They'll be buying options, making all the mistakes we talked about. You can't stop them from doing it. There's always going to be those investors out there who will buy options incorrectly. Let them be the gamblers. Now, as long as there's always going to be those gamblers out there, you may as well be the casino. Remember the old saying that the house always wins? The paycheck system teaches you how to stack the probability of success in your favor. Just like Brian did. Just like you saw Bruce and Bob and Jim and Hugh and John. Now, if you're like most, you're wondering, how do I implement this options paycheck system in my portfolio right now? Well, you have a choice. Option number 1 is to do nothing. Stay where you are right now. And listen, if you already have enough to retire, you're not really worried about running out of money, then you might not need the options paycheck system, and that's a great place to be. But if you need to make some extra income every month, that leaves you with 2 other options. Option 2, do it alone. You can try to learn how the option trades work, figure out the direction of the market, learn how to analyze the thousands of stocks, find the best ones to trade, hope you pick the right one, you manage it right. Listen, if you're willing to work hard, spend hours in front of your computer, you're willing to learn by trial and error, you might be able to pull it off. Option 3 is to let us guide you through it. I'll walk you through each piece of the paycheck system in just a few weeks. You'll have a simple system to follow that doesn't take a lot of time. There's 2 types of people. Person number one is someone who dreams about their financial goals but never takes action or does anything to make it happen. Person number two is someone who's serious about their financial future. You're ready to take action when you see a good opportunity in front of you. And since you're dedicated enough to be with me to this point, I'm willing to bet you're person number two. And that makes you the perfect candidate to get started on that first options paycheck. So let me tell you what we put together for you. The Options Paycheck Experience is the most comprehensive program for generating consistent income using option spreads, even if you've never traded an option before. The Paycheck Experience is the only implementation program of its kind that teaches the secret to generating consistent income with options. It shows you exactly how to find, set up, and manage option spreads to generate income, and how to do it safer and consistent in any type of market condition so you never fear running out of money. Now, after going through the experience, you're going to know exactly how calls and puts work, along with all the fancy terms, so you no longer have a fear of options. You're going to have clear signals telling you whether to place a bullish or a bearish trade and when not to place a trade. You're going to be able to quickly identify the stocks that are the best candidates. This is going to free up a lot of your time because we're going to use a rule-based approach to this. You're going to set up an income trade that gives you a 70+% success rate, even if you've never traded an option before. You're going to get a trade management game plan in place prior to placing your trade. That way you know how to handle anything the market throws at you. We're going to be able to confidently enter and exit trades with your broker, whether you're a pro or whether this is your first trade. And you're going to implement a system that helps you safely and consistently generate income. That's going to let you live the lifestyle you want without that fear of running out of money. Now, the course is 8 modules, and we made them so each module builds on the one prior. As you go through the modules, you're getting closer and closer to that end goal, which is a system for consistent income. Now, the first 2 modules are what we call the Options Income Foundation. A lot of people try to build a successful income portfolio, but they base that portfolio on a weak foundation of knowledge. We totally understand what it's like to learn options for the first time. We've been there. That's why it pays to learn from a team who's gone through this before. The outcome you're going to get from Module 1 is you're going to know exactly how calls and puts work so you can use them confidently in your trades. You're going to know which terms to pay attention to, which to ignore. That way you don't get frustrated or waste time. Then in Module 2, you're going to learn in detail what those spreads are and how they work. You're going to be filled with confidence to start building your income system around these powerful trades. Now that you've constructed your solid foundation of options knowledge, we're going to lay out the step-by-step system to placing income trades so you can generate those options paychecks. Each step along the way stacks probability in your favor, and it reduces your risk. And it all starts with knowing when to trade. Here, you're going to get complete clarity on market trends. So instead of looking at all possible trades, you're going to narrow your focus. You're going to know whether to place a bullish trade or a bearish trade, and even when not to trade. After you know the direction of the market, you want to find stocks that are highly likely to move in the same direction. This is going to stack probability even more in your favor. The outcome here is you're going to know how to quickly find the best stocks and indexes to trade that's going to give you the highest probability. Now that you got your list of stocks, we're going to narrow it down to the best option candidates giving you the highest probability for profits. By using the rules in this module, we're going to make sure you're getting paid top dollar, and you're going to make sure that you can make money even if the stock goes nowhere. Now in 6, you're going to continue to stack probability. And again, that's what we're doing. We're stacking probability by the way you set up your trade. We're going to make sure your trade has the perfect combination of risk reward, and you're going to know exactly where to set your strikes. So when you looked at that chart earlier, you're like, well, I really don't know which one to sell, Ron. We're going to make sure that you know exactly which options to sell. Because great trades, they don't happen by accident. They happen because of careful planning and strategically setting them up correctly right from the very beginning. Now you got your trade picked out, you're ready to go. Module 7, you're going to have your plan in place so you know when to exit the trade, not only to take profits, but to minimize losses. You will never be frozen like a deer in the headlights again. No matter what the market throws at you, you'll know how to react, and that's going to allow you to trade completely stress-free. And now that you found the best stock, you got your low risk, high probability trade, you mapped out your management plan, it's time to place your trade. This module will break down the trade execution phase into simple, repeatable steps. You're going to be able to commit that to muscle memory in no time. Now, we put everything you need into a checklist so you never miss a step. When someone is first starting out, it's always comforting to have that security blanket. That way you make sure you did everything correctly. Plus, placing trades with your broker can be very intimidating. So in addition to video walkthroughs of several popular brokers, we put together click-by-click directions for the most popular options broker, TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Now, it's not TD Ameritrade anymore. Now it's Schwab, but when you download it stuff, it still says TD Ameritrade for right now. Now, before we talk about the price of the course, I want to make it even more low risk for you. We offer a 100% money back guarantee on the course. I've been doing this now for almost 8 years. You can go through the entire course, and if you're not satisfied we taught you how to profit using options, just notify us within a week of finishing the course. You get all your money back. It's no risk. All we ask is that you give it your best effort. Come to the classes, watch the recordings, whatever you want to do. It's a live class, but you can watch the recordings instead. It doesn't matter. If you don't do the work and come to the class, whether again live or recorded, you won't be eligible for the refund. The reason I make that refund policy like that is because I want to attract people who are ready to jump in, do the work, and get the results. And I know that you will. It's as simple as that. You're going to learn a system that averages 3% per month. That's 36% per year. And it's not going to take you a lot of time to do it every week. I got this email from one of our clients who took the course. Ron, I'm writing a thank you for teaching the options paycheck course. I took your class last fall. Wanted you to know my results for the past 10 months. I keep a journal to document every trade, and so far I've profited on 239 trades of the 350 I've taken, a 68% winning rate. I've profited over $100,000 in this time. What's more exciting is that since my knowledge and experience have grown in regards to taking really good risk-reward trades, I've profited over $50,000 in the last 6 weeks. My success rate has been 78% over my last 100 trades, and I only take trades with a 2 to 1 or better risk reward. Thank you for teaching this simple but very effective system. Now, if I asked Joe before he took the course if he would trade me $2,000 for 100 grand, think he would take that trade? Would you? Well, I got a great offer and a good trade for you right here. Now, before I tell you more about it, I want to point something out. It's important that you understand this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not something where you should expect to become a millionaire in the next 24 hours. It's serious and requires some effort on your part. So if you can't do it, you can't commit to it, then don't do it. It's not right for you right now. It's for serious people who take their investing seriously and who are willing to put in the time to learn the system. So if you're serious about this, you're ready to do the work and get the results, then the Options Paycheck course is perfect for you. Step-by-step training to go from option basics to a full complete income generating system. Just these training modules alone are worth the price of the course, but we've also put together a couple bonuses for you. Our first bonus is what we call the Mastery Package. Now, here's how the course works. During the month of November, we want you to learn 2 modules a week. You're going to watch the recordings on our university site. So this week, I want you to learn modules 1 and 2. Then we have live module 1 and 2 mastery sessions where we're going to discuss them. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to do the quiz with you, assignments with you. It's your opportunity to meet with us live to discuss the modules. We record those sessions. So if you can't make the live sessions, it's not a big deal. You can watch the recordings. Okay. Then at the end of the week, we have a weekly Q&A wrap-up. So it's another live session that you can come to. The whole goal is to make sure you're progressing. Okay. You're going to get access to a private dedicated email that goes right to me and the Options Paycheck team. You're also going to get access to VectorVest and Options Pro for November and most of December. These are the best tools in the industry. They're not mandatory, but we're going to let you test drive them for the duration of the live curriculum. Okay? Now, as I said, in November, we're going to teach you the system. In December, we are going to implement it. You're going to be invited to my live trading sessions. Every Monday, I do live trading with my coaching students. We look for trades, we place them, I show you how they own the broker, everything I do on a week-to-week basis. You're going to be invited to those courses. We also have live office hours. What are the office hours? They're just one more chance for you to watch us place trades, ask us questions, maybe have us review trades that you saw. Just one more opportunity for you to get with us live. Now again, that's 12 total sessions of implementation in December. They're all recorded. So if you can't view the live curriculum, it's okay. You can totally do this watching the recordings. And then if you're worried that finding stocks and all that might be too much, we're going to teach you the SPX paycheck system. This is something that you can do in 15 minutes a week. It's one trade on one symbol, one setup rule, one profit, one stop, I give you live trading sessions on how to do it every week. I did one this morning with my students. This is another valuable thing. A lot of my students get started just by trading the SPX and then eventually add stocks to the mix as well. In fact, my colleague Brian taught this to his then 14-year-old daughter, and she was able to do this. It's not a hard trade at all. So, as a recap, today's offer, Options Paycheck Training Program, that includes the 8 training modules, the videos, the checklist, the cheat sheets, the quizzes, the slides, the recordings, the bonus mastery package, the implementation month, the SPX paycheck system. Again, you're going to get VectorVest and Options Pro software for the month of November and most of December. You can test drive the best tools in the market for this. You don't have to use them if you don't want to, but we're just going to give them to you to help you. That total value is about $5,400. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Here's the opportunity in front of you. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and work with a couple hundred people who are serious about generating income. So if you choose to be one of them, we're going to create an income system in your portfolio, even if you've never had success with options. If you want to join me, have me take you by the hand and help you install an option income system in your portfolio, then instead of that $5,000, the early bird price for the course is only $1,295. Now, to make it easier, I do have a 3-payment option. You can get started for as little as $495 today, and then 2 additional installments of $495. However, you spent about an hour with me today, so here's what I'd like to do this for you. If you order before the end of the webinar today, instead of paying $12.95, you can get it for $9.95. That means you're going to get the full course, 1 year of access to the course, the mastery package, the implementation month, VectorVest and Options Pro for November and most of December. That $9.95 price will only be for those who register before we finish up today. Once we finish, the price goes back up to $12.95. All you got to do, go to www.optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered. And listen, I know $9.95, it's money, it's real money. But ask yourself, how much is it going to cost you not to do this? How much are you going to lose out by learning by trial and error? How much potential profit are you going to miss out on? How much time and energy are you going to spend trying to do it on your own? Then you got to ask yourself, how would things be different if you did it and it worked? You know, there's an old saying that the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years ago, so you could be sitting under it now enjoying the shade. You know when the second best time is? It's today. It's not too late to begin to prepare yourself for retirement and learn to generate income. This is one of those deciding days in your life. Will it be the day you decide to take action and set yourself up for a secure retirement? Or is it going to be the day you look back on where you squandered an amazing opportunity to create that consistent income stream? I hope you don't regret the decision you make right now. Don't miss this opportunity. I look forward to working with all of you in our class. So again, go to www.optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered. That $9.95 price is only available while we're live on the webinar. So if you've never taken the Options Paycheck, it's about 6:04 Eastern time right now. So you got probably about 20, 25 minutes to take advantage of that price. Get out there, get signed up. Don't wait. I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. Now, while you're thinking about it, I also want to go over the idea or when the live sessions are, right? Because I told you it's November and December. Well, let me show you when the live sessions are. First and foremost, this is the schedule of live events. The class actually starts tomorrow. In fact, registration closes at 10 a.m. So if you don't get the $9.95 price now and it goes back to $12.95, the registration closes tomorrow morning. Tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern time, we're going to do a welcome session. In that welcome session, we're just going to review all the materials with you, where to go for help, what you get, what you need to do for the next 2 months, just getting started with the class. Now, what we want you to do before Wednesday, watch Module 1. If you sign up for the course right now, you're going to get access to all the modules tonight. Watch Module 1. On Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern time, we're going to get together and we are going to discuss Module 1. You can ask me questions. We'll go over the review. We'll go over the assignments if you need them. Anything to help you make sure you are mastering the Module 1 content. Then on Thursday, we're going to do the mastery for Module 2. Same idea. Those are at 4:30. Now, if you can't attend the live classes, again, not a big deal. We record those for you. You can watch the recordings later on. And then Friday at noon, we have a Q&A, just an open Q&A where you can talk about Modules 1 and Modules 2 together. So, I know how it is. You watch the module, you go to the mastery session, like 30 minutes later, darn, I should have asked that question. Well, you can email it to us, of course, or you can come to the Q&A Friday. It's just one more opportunity to ask questions. And then you see the schedule for the rest of November. So November is all about learning. December is all about the implementation. Starting on Monday, November 27th, you're going to be invited to our live trades. SPX at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, stocks at 2. Again, if you can't make the live sessions, we record them all. You can go watch them. Simple as that. We have office hours on Wednesday at 4:30. That's one of my favorite office hours, actually. The market's closed. I will show you, for those of you that work full time and you can't place trades during the day, I'll show you how you can find trades after the market closes and put in orders for the next day. So you don't have to be in front of your computer to do this. Then on Friday at noon, we're going to do another office hour section. We'll review the trade selection process, find some more trades potentially, and we're going to keep repeating the process for you. We're going to make sure that you are ready to implement. You could take the trades I'm taking if you want. You could find trades on your own and walk them through them. A lot of people, they love this implementation month because it's just so repetitive of repeating the process and getting it down to basically, you learn the steps and you know them by heart. One of our clients that came to our class, Greg, he said, prior to the course, I struggled with knowing how to protect myself when the market was moving away from me. I feared if I didn't fix it, I'd lose more of my portfolio than I could afford to lose. After taking the options paycheck, I feel better prepared to trade and much more confident. In the first month, I made a net of $10,200 for my options income trading with 9 winners and 1 loser. I would absolutely recommend the course. It was well done, very educational and informative. It's an excellent educational opportunity that I'm thankful I took advantage of. Don't let fear hold you back. You will make more in the first month than you paid to take the course. I was one of the fence sitters who didn't take this course for a long time when I saw it offered. I lost a lot by not taking this program sooner. I'm very grateful and appreciative of the work that was put into making the training program available. Now, for those of you that mentioned that you don't have any options experience, we poll all of our prior attendees. 85% of them said that you can be successful with this with little to no prior experience. Now, I always say that I like to work with beginners. I like to use a golf analogy. If I could go back in time and forget everything I know about golf and just go to a teacher and start learning how to play golf from a teacher, I wish I could do it because I wouldn't have to unlearn all of my bad things I already know. If you're new to options, this is the opportunity to learn from the ground floor the right way to do it. So have confidence. You can do this whether you have a lot of options experience or not. We can teach you. Just a few more of clients who've taken the course. Cheryl, I've surpassed my expectations. I didn't need the money back guarantee. I tripled my investment. After taking the course, I already have a profit of $7,300. Before the course, it was a crapshoot. Now I believe in the options trades I'm doing. Cam made back the initial investment so many times over, even though it's a small part of my portfolio, it's probably the most profitable. Jake, I finally found a method of making consistent winning trades with a high probability of success. So again, the offer in front of you, $9.95. Get out there, go to optionspaycheck.com, get yourself signed up. If you feel more comfortable talking to a human, that's no problem. Give our office a call at 888-658-7638. We will get you signed up over the phone as well. Take advantage of that $9.95. Now, just a couple more comments from some of our more recent students. Neville said, thanks for a wonderful course where within a short time you opened our eyes to many things. Your experience, enthusiasm, and your desire to teach comes through easily. You put a lot of thought into the training manual, already paid for the tuition with a few Delta 35 trades. David, the options paycheck experience is by far the best course I've ever attended all my years with VectorVest since '99. You eliminated my fear of trading options. The manner in which you presented the material is truly outstanding. And then Ben, the attention I received for all my email questions was above and beyond what I expected. A lot of my questions were demonstrated in class, and that made my learning much easier. Great job. So get out there, take advantage of that $9.95 price, sign up while we're live, do it. End the year right, get into the course. We will set you up for success in 2024. All right, what I'm going to do now is I am going to bring in my colleague Brian. We're going to do some Q&A, and if you have any questions, we will certainly answer them.
All right. Hey, Ron.
Hey.
All right. So quick reminder for everybody before we get to the trading questions with Ron. The $9.95 is good for about 15 or so minutes. Yep, there we go. Ron's got it up there. So about 18 minutes to go for the $9.95. Then it goes up to $12.95, which is still a good deal, as you've seen with all the testimonials there today. And registration will close by 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time. So that was that 12 of 16 hours from now. And then you can't get in after that, right? So that this will be your last chance to get in by 10 a.m. tomorrow. But if you want the $9.95 rate, it is only available for the next 18 minutes. All right. So those of you who are in, please check your email. We would have sent you an email with all the details, with all the dates, the times, the directions to get into the course, and you'll be all set to go. Ron, actually, before I forget, I typically forget this, but before I forget, maybe we could just show people a couple of things, maybe show how to place the order. Like if they actually click on there you go. We'll click on register today. So if you're on that page, just click register today. I think it makes most sense to do the $9.95 special that we got going. So just click the button that says buy now and save. Once you do that, you'll see a page there's a couple of things on it. If you already have a username and password with VectorVest, all you have to do is click sign in and put your username and password in there and then fill out the order form. And that way the course goes on your account. The only reason you'll have to fill in your first name, last name, and email and a password is if you are brand new to VectorVest. And then once you create your account, then the course will go on your brand newly created account and you're ready to go. And then the only other thing, Ron, that if you could maybe just give them a tour of the course, since it only 16 hours to get in, might as well show them what it looks like inside the course. And then from there, I'll pass over to you some of the trading questions that have come in.
All right, bear with me just a second as I get into it. Oops, I always click on the wrong things. There we go. All right, so when you get the website, when you buy the course, you're going to get linked to a course, and there's going to be a couple of sections that says My Courses. Now, you're not going to have all these courses. I have all these because I work for VectorVest. But in that list, you're going to find the Options Paycheck Experience. Simply click on the link. It'll say Start Course, and that'll take you right into the main course. Now, as I told you, you're going to get access to all 8 modules right off the bat. So in the upper left-hand corner, as you scroll down, you're going to see modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What you want to do first, however, start up here right at the top. The first thing I want you to do is go to the course curriculum checklist. And this is important because this checklist, what this is going to give you is just a little guide, making sure that as you go through each module, you're doing all of the things you needed to do, all the way through module 8. And then most importantly, at the end of this, you're going to see the schedule. So this is the schedule of all of our live events. Print that out. That way you have a copy of it. You know when all the live events are. Now remember, the way the course works is this. We want you to watch the modules by yourself. So for module 1, you're going to go under recorded lessons, and you're going to see all of the individual lessons of module 1. So this week, I want you to focus on module 1, and I want you to focus on module 2. Okay? So under recorded lessons, you're going to go there and watch the videos. Then on November 1st, we're going to get together live to discuss module 1, and then Thursday, module 2. Now, inside each of those modules, and including with the recorded lessons, we also put together some review questions for you. You can take a quiz. Start the quiz, and you can start taking the quiz on that. There's actually even a video of us walking you through the quiz. That way you can, hear our descriptions of everything. Every module has an action item walkthrough. So when you're doing the module, we want you not only to learn, but we want you to implement. We want you to go out there in your broker, in Options Pro if you want to use that. Find the information that we're telling you. All the brokers have this information. You just got to go out there and find it. We have FAQ sections. And finally, we have the mastery session recording. So if I open that up right now, you're going to see a date of August 2nd. That was the last time I did a module 1 mastery session. So if you look at that right now, I could actually click on that and you can watch the hour and 24-minute mastery session that I did back in August. Now, on Wednesday, when we do ours together, that recording will go away and you'll see a date there of November 2nd. Okay? Actually, you'll see November 1st. I apologize. And then it's the same through all of the individual modules all the way down. Then after module 8, there's the bonus module for the SPX trading system where you can learn the individual trades. This is where all of the Q&As and office hour recordings are going to be. So for instance, if I open up week number 1, you'll see a Q&A from August 4th. Obviously, you can watch that from our last paycheck class, but once we do the one live with you, that'll update to the November class. And you'll see we have links for all of the ones that we've done already in the past. The live trading sessions, if you want to see me go out there and actually trade this, like I did in August or in September with my other class, I still have all my old videos there. You can watch those if you'd like to, see how I do it. See the trades I took. Did I make money? Didn't I make money? They're all right there. I put them right out there for you. Now, of course, as we get into December, these will all be overwritten by the ones in your class. You get access to Options Pro for November and most of December. If you want to learn a little bit more about the platform, you can just do some tutorials. I've got broker help videos from Thinkorswim, E-Trade, IB, Ally, and an SPX video for Fidelity. I'm working on some new Fidelity videos for stocks. Those aren't quite done yet. And then most importantly, down here, you got the webinar links. We email you 24 hours, I believe, before the start of any live webinar. However, different email addresses, different email providers put things in clutter and junk and spam. Remember, the schedule for the live course is under here under course curriculum checklist. You see it all right here. If you don't get an email to the live session, just go down to where it says live webinars and you will see the links right here. So if tomorrow you order the course and you say, Ron, I didn't get a link to the live welcome session, go to university, go to live webinar links, just click right there. That'll take you to the live session. And we have those, we're gonna have those active for every live session we do throughout the November and December of the course. Finally, if you go into resources, this is where you can download all of the slides. So you can print them out either in black and white or color, our worksheets. As you get into modules 7 and 8, we're going to start introducing things like the position sizing worksheet, and module 8, the checklists. And then we also have one for the SPX trading system, which gives you a click-by-click for Thinkorswim, a trade tracking spreadsheet, really everything you need to make the course successful. We make sure you're provided it. You can download it, watch the videos as many times as you need. We are dedicated to your success.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Wheeler. Very beautiful description of the course and what's in there. So, Ron, you ready for a couple of trading questions?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, so there's 11 minutes left of that deal. So let's see if we can get these questions answered so people can get done in the next 11 minutes. So, Ron, this is going to be like a lightning round. Can somebody, I know you talked about this earlier in the webinar, but just to repeat, can this be done in somebody's retirement account?
Yes, there's something called, and if you want to Google this, you certainly can. It's called a limited margin IRA. So I just went out and Googled it really quick. Limited margin IRA. So it means you can use unsettled cash proceeds in your IRA trade stock. So all of the brokers have this. I happen to have one with Fidelity that I use. So yes, you can do this in an IRA. It just has to be a limited margin IRA. Call your broker. Make sure you are set up for this. That's the key.
All right. And Jeffrey typed in, why only one trade per week?
Well, that's as little as you can do. So if you're very passive or if you're very busy, you can take one trade a week on the S&P and still make 3-4% a month over the long haul. Now, I personally don't just do the S&P. So I usually do 5 to 7 trades a week. This week was a little light. I placed 4 trades today. I placed like 6 trades last week. So it's up to you how much time you want to put in this, but you can do it in as little as 1 trade per week if you want. Now, you saw some of the guys like that email on Joe. Over 10 months, he took 350 trades. That's a little more trades than I do personally, but you can expand this as much as you want or how many of our trades you want to take. It's cool.
All right. I'm just going to do a follow-up for Jeffrey. How much, if you're saying like 5 to 7 trades a week, how does that take a lot of time, or how much time does that take you to do that?
It depends on how, the tools you have. Some brokers like Thinkorswim or IB are much easier to do this with because they have better tools. Options Pro. I personally, if I didn't have my clients where I do all my trading live, I could have all my trading done in probably about 40 minutes a week. I look a couple days for some trades. I put my orders in, walk away. Now, if you have more time and you want to spend a couple hours a week trading, that's great. Set aside some time every day and look for trades. You might be able to take 350 trades a year if you want. But, I personally try to set aside, with my clients 2 hours a week of trading, and that's it. And, that's what I take. Anything more than that, great. Anything less than that, cool.
All right. And you mentioned different people who are making different amounts of money and placing a different amount of trades. Is there a certain size account that somebody would need to do this?
No, I mean, you can start with as little as $5,000 to trade one S&P contract a week. I always tell people if they want me to recommend something, I say a good $25,000 account's a nice starting point. It allows you to do a couple contracts of the S&P. You can do, a couple stock trades if you want to. It's completely up to you, but 5,000 is the minimum that I would tell you need to start with. And remember, be realistic. Your goal is to make about 3% per month. So if you have a $5,000 account, I want you to make $150 a month. That's realistic. Now, if you're like, well, Ron, I got a $5,000 account, I want to make $4,000 a month, you're being very unrealistic. Okay. The only way you can do that is by hitting those home runs. You're going to lose a lot more than you win, and you're just going to slowly drain your account down. That's not how it works in the real world.
All right. With that, Mr. Wheeler, I think that was all the questions we had. So just a quick, before I pass it over to you to wrap things up, just a quick reminder for everybody else, the $9.95 is good for the next few minutes. After that, I'll go to $12.95, and then registration closes early tomorrow morning. And so get in, because Ron's first live session with you is tomorrow afternoon. So please take advantage of that. Get in while you can. And with that, Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to pass it to you to wrap things up for the night.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian, and thank you, John, in the background as well. And thank all of you. I know time is precious, so thank you for spending this hour and roughly a half with me. I appreciate it. I want to say thank you again for joining me, and thank you for signing up. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you, hopefully in our live sessions. If not, via email, if you want to watch the recordings, that's great too. And we're going to have a good time this next 2 months. We're going to put together a system that I've been fine-tuning and have really worked into an easy-to-use, very low risk, very low time commitment system. So I'm excited to teach it to you over the next 2 months. I hope you're excited about it as well. Thanks once again, everybody. Have a great evening, and we'll see all of you that signed up tomorrow in our welcome session. So thank you again. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.